he does. Yeah. Look at that old one and look at the new one. So if you remember, we had done some math to calculate where our last board would go. So we have this held back. So our next board will have our reveal for our fascia and our overhang. Now, right now is a good time to check kind of where we're at. And we can do a quick reference, like to the back edge of our board, which will equal that, we have about 16 3/4. So if I take my tape and I kind of go to the ledger, I can see that I have that, you know, we wanted to have about 3/16 of variance to give us a little bit of room to get that in, and right now we have about 16 7/8, so it's good. We're only pushed like a 1/16 of an inch. We're going to have enough to just slide our final board in, so that's pretty good. Now this is a little bit easier if we were to work out from the house and then cut the joist off after, but when we're waiting on a framing inspection, it's a good thing to do to get everything cut and get the rim joist put together. But it came out pretty good. We'll be able to slide that last board in. That's all we can ask for, is to have it fit and not have to rip that last board down. Nice clean finish, all full boards. So what the boys are doing now is they have this first board pinned. They've assembled these boards with the camo wedge clip. So this clip right here has a couple of tongs on it. It has this stainless steel gusset and a stainless steel screw. And then this plastic section is the spacer between the boards that gives you that even reveal. So this just goes in like this. You just kind of stick the tongs in and just lift it up. If you want to come over here and get a look at it. So this is all they're doing, is they're taking these, putting them over every joist, tongs in and lifting it up, and that'll stay in place. And it's easiest to do a section depending on how straight your boards are. Here you can see we've been able to lay pretty much the whole field minus the last few boards, and that gives them the ability to clamp everything tight, get it all installed in. I'm going to push this one in for them a little bit because we don't have a lever at this end. Now, very important when you're using these clips or any hidden clip is the clutch setting on the driver. So he has this set that it's enough tension to suck the board down tight to the framing, but it's not going to overdrive the screw, it's not going to strip the screw, and it's not going to damage the gusset in that clip. Because if he was to take this clutch off and put this on drill mode or use an impact driver instead of a drill driver, he could damage or overdrive this or suck that gusset too far into that groove. We want the right amount of tension. It's different on every drill. He's running this with a 6.0 battery. He's running on 8 right now. But every drill is different, even from same brand. So you gotta start low and work your way up. You want them fully driven and tight. Go ahead and you can see that if you come in, you can see it kind of just suck that board down a little bit, and that's it. So this is also a handy tool, worth its weight in gold. So this is a camo lever. It's adjustable, so you can use it on a single or a double joist, or even like a 2-inch steel joist. You can actually flip this around if you loosen this up. It has a steel joist side and a wood joist side. And this is like a cam. It just goes tight. You kind of tighten that up, and depending on how much tension you want to put on it, and just lock it in like that. So very simple way of clamping the boards to get them straight. Another thing I like to do on longer runs, say we had a 20-foot run here, or we had 2 consecutive runs with a breaker board, I like to just look down. Now you could snap a reference line, but I like to just, when we clamp it, I always like to look down, get an eye on it, and make sure we're laying straight. At the end of the day, we probably will make a reference point on a larger deck, although this one, as long as these are pushed tight, it's going to remain nice and straight. we're gonna cut our perimeters in. We wanna cut that inside board to length because we're gonna use the track saw to cut these ends off. So we've taken into consideration the overhang of our decking and our fascia. So we're holding about 1.5 inches here, and then the board is 5 3/8, okay? So if we pull our tape in now, we're gonna go 4 1/16. We wanna have a little gap for expansion and contraction here. So make a mark there. We're gonna come to this end. We're gonna pull that same 4 1/16 on this side. All right, and that's gonna be our perimeter cut. You don't have, a picture frame is a nice finish. You don't have to picture frame, but especially with a scallop board like this is this I-beam construction, it would look very poor if you were to leave this scallop. So by putting in this picture frame, and we're gonna put a miter corner on this front, it's gonna give it that finished look that you wouldn't really want to be looking at this on the edge of your deck. The track saw, we use this to cut our perimeters. It keeps us a nice straight guideline. The other thing it does is it eliminates bump and run of going over these boards. It keeps the saw nice and flat so you can cut to a very consistent depth. It's just a very efficient way of doing it. So it's not just for the purpose of cutting straight. It's just very efficient. So you can see that perfect cut with no cut into that framing. Nice, nice straight line. So while these guys are getting the picture frame and the stairs put together, I'm going to start doing railing post layout. So we're using a structural post inside a vinyl sleeve. We've had issues with 4x4s out of the frame and putting a vinyl sleeve because they like to twist and bow and crack and split check. So even when we're doing a vinyl or composite railing system, we still use a steel structural post that has plastic collars on it. That way, whether we're using aluminum railing, vinyl railing, composite railing, it all installs the same with blocking with a top-down bolted installation. So this is going to get, I believe, a 4-inch sleeve. So this collar is 3 5/8. So the important part about that is we actually want to use this sleeve for our layout. So this sleeve is 4 inches true. And we always want the outside of our sleeve to align with the outside of our fascia. And so the same overhang that we have underneath, we hold on the top. So here, we're going to have a 1-inch overhang over our fascia. So we're going to hold 1 inch in is going to be the outside of our sleeve. Now, because this collar is the interior dimension of the sleeve, it's like 3.5 heavy. So really we want 1.25 inches back from this nosing is where this structural post will go, okay? So up against the house, we can have a maximum of 4 inches. We like to go 3 inches off the house with our sleeve. And that, yes, we could put it tighter, but especially in this position where we're waiting on some special order siding to piece all this back in, but say the client wants to re-side their home in a couple of years. If we don't leave enough room back here to get this siding in and out, then they would have to take apart the railing, whereas if they have 3 inches behind this, it's plenty of room to get the siding pulled, get new siding in behind it. I have this little marker, it's called a chalk shot. Very, very handy, self-centering. It's made by a company called Durham Mark. So what this does is when it gets compressed, it self-centers into the hole and shoots a dot. So I can just take this unit right here, align my post square on that line, and then I put this in and just give it a tap. It's going to give me my marks for where I have to pre-drill the decking to install my bolts for the railing, my structural screws. We're using a 1/4 inch camo 4-inch structural screw to put these posts down. These are them right here. So you can see it's going to be that bare shank where the decking is, and then all the thread is in the framing. So this is a perfect size screw to make this fasten. All right, so look, this is, I mean, beautiful. This way to the house. We're going to turn it this way. So you can see this way I have a little bit of, if you come around the other side, I have a little bit of pitch outside. So I can try, see if just this one needs to be tightened up a little bit, but we're not going to get it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up these two outsides. All right. I'm going to take a shim. And I'm going to just probably give it a little bit more, because when I suck those bolts down, it's going to tighten that up. Let's see if that was too much. No, it's pretty good. Nice.
You trying to work at the pole, I'm trying to.
Tight is right, dude. Yeah, buddy. This is your template. When you go to install your brackets for a 36-inch rail height, you just take like that, insert your bracket in the template, pre-drill your holes and send your screws in. Depending on what railing manufacturer you're working with, typically most of them you're going to have to cut the rail shorter to account for the thickness of the brackets between the railing and the post. Here it's going to tell you that you're going to measure the distance between the inside mounting brackets. So they want you to put the bracket on first and then measure your distance between. You can see here, this is the bracket that's going to be providing spacing. We're going to have like a light 3/8 burn. So we're going to take 3/4 off the total. What we want to do is we want to figure out if we want to be baluster centered or centered between baluster to get the greatest length of space on either end. So if I take my overall, which is 85 and 9/16, and I come over here, the first thing I'm going to do is hook, because my premium offering is if I can have a full space on either side. So I always just start by just hooking the outside of the baluster hole. You can see right here, I have 85 3/4 with full spacing on either side. So it really tells me I got to take like a light 1/8 off of either side of here, and that's going to be my correct length. Nice. The old shimmy tap. Doesn't cover it. Oh. Alright, we're all done here, so great 8x12 using the Infinity IS. You can see we've done really simple stair detail. We have color match, painted the ends of the boards and all the white OC fascia going around this thing. Real nice, simple, clean deck for you. Lower to the ground, easy to access with the new slider. Let's go one more time.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, this one's done. We're out of here. It's Friday afternoon, perfect timing. 8x12, Everlast Infinity IS. Clean, simple, very good for hanging out. Enough room for a grill, enough room for a little bit of furniture. But these people are very happy. They got a beautiful spot in their backyard. Enjoy this nice weather we got coming in. So sub the channel, throw us a like, throw us a comment. Any questions you got, we'll see you on the next one.